Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This week is Thanksgiving week, which is really exciting, so I wanted to create a makeup tutorial that I would wear on Thanksgiving Day. I took a poll on Twitter and so many of you guys answered. I love doing polls on Twitter, so if you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. But I asked the question, what's your Thanksgiving style? Like your Thanksgiving Day style, I guess I should say. I wanted to know if you guys like to get glam, if you guys like to just get ready normally, or if you're in sweats all day. And most of you guys said you like more of an everyday look, but a lot of you also said that you like to get glam and you like to wear sweats. So I wanted to create a look that would kind of work for all three categories, something that's easy to do, that's kind of an everyday, but a little bit elevated. So you could kind of tone up or tone down this look depending. If you're wearing sweats, it'll kind of look like you tried a little bit if you do this makeup look. So this is the look that I came up with. I wanted to keep this focus on the skin and the eyes because the lipstick, let's be honest, it's gonna disappear after we stuff our faces with food, so I wanted to keep that really neutral. So this is the look that I'm gonna be teaching you how to do today. Before we get into the tutorial, please subscribe, join the family, come on board, it's a blast. I post 3 videos a week, so you won't wanna miss out. And to ensure you don't miss out, make sure to be a part of the notification squad. Just click on the little bell and you'll be notified every single time I upload, so you can be one of the first people to watch it. So if you guys wanna see how I achieved this look, which is perfect for Thanksgiving or any other holiday or time of year, if you wanna see how I got this look, just keep watching. Brows are filled in. I use the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Brow Pencil in the shade Universal Taupe. I've been really liking this lately. It's kind of been something that I've been picking up every time I do my brows these days. And then I carved out the top and bottom of the brows with the Anastasia Pro Pencil in the shade Base 1. So before we go into eyes, I think I am going to do eyes first, but I do want to prep the skin a little bit. So I'm just going to go into this Bare Minerals primer. This is their Combo Control Primer, and I have never used this, so I'm really intrigued, and I thought that it would be a fun time to try a new primer. Why not? Hopefully that wasn't too much. It's like a really milky consistency. Ooh, it feels really nice on the skin actually. Hydrating, smoothing. We will have to see how this works. Priming the eyes, I'm going to use that same exact Anastasia Pro Pencil. This is actually an eyeshadow based primer in the first place. I just like to use it to carve out the brows. So I'm going to color this on the eyelid. I'll blend it out in a moment. And I'm just going to blend that out with my finger all over the eyelid. And then just to set that and make sure we have a powdery surface, I'm going to go into the Soap & Glory One Heck of a Blot Powder. This was just sent to me this week by Soap & Glory, and I really want to see how it works. So I'm just going to apply this all over the eyelid. And now we are ready for eyeshadow. I'm going to be using the Dose of Colors Baked Browns palette. This is an amazing palette, and I also felt like if you don't have this palette, you could find some similar shades to use in other palettes, like the Morphe 350 palette. The Jaclyn Hill palette has some similar browns in there, so I just wanted to do something that was really simple today, but not too simple, you know? So I'm gonna use this palette. I love it. I'm gonna start with this creamy shade. My hands are stained from swatching today. I swatched like crazy, and I'm going to take this first shade and start from the brow bone and just blend it down to the crease. And then I'm just going to be taking this second shade in the palette, and I'm going to use this for a transition shade. This is gonna pretty much be our all over lid color, but I'm taking a really small amount first and kind of building that in the transition first, or as a transition, I guess I should say. Just so that when we put it on the lid, it fades up to the brow bone nicely. And I do love to bring the extra into this inner corner here slightly and just make sure to blend it out really, really well. I'm just taking that exact same shade with a little bit more eyeshadow, and I'm just going to press that at the base of the lash line first and just kind of build up the pigment all the way up to the crease. This is such a pretty brown. It's a very Thanksgiving brown, right? Then I'm just going back into the crease with that first brush we were using just to make sure it's nice and blended out. To deepen it up a little bit, I'm just going to be mixing this shade with a little bit of the dark brown, and I want this to kind of be what adds dimension on the outer third. Nothing crazy though, and then I'm just going to blend over the edges again with that first brush we used. So I'm really wanting like a smoky lash line. I'm going to take the brush that comes with the palette and just dip it into this dark brown shade, and I want to really start to work this along the lash line. I'm just taking the other end of that brush and just going over it to really smoke that out. And then I'm just going to keep going back in layers, really building it along the lash line and then smoking it out. Look at the difference that makes. I love it. So I'm just going to do the same thing on this eye. So there's not really that much fallout, but if there is, you can just take a little makeup wipe and really softly clean the edges. So now let's move into complexion. Today I'm going to be going into my L'Oreal True Match Cushion Foundation. I just really want the skin to look really radiant and glowy. Since we're not going to do a very bold lip, I really want the skin and the eyes to look as good as possible, but still be really easy to achieve. So I'm just going to take that with my IT Cosmetics number 7 brush, and I'm actually going to dip directly into the pan here, the little sponge, and I'm just going to start to work this all over the skin. So I really like the finish of this foundation, but I always love a little bit more coverage. So I think I might add or mix in another one. I think I'm going to add the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation just over that. The shade that I have is Ivory. I'm just going to do one pump on the back of my hand. And I'm just going to use that same foundation brush and just add coverage on the outer portions of my face, because that's where I tend to get like redness and acne scarring. So next I'm going to be going into concealer. For my blemishes, I'm going to go into the Maybelline Better Skin Concealer, because I like the overall radiance of those foundations, but I do like a little more coverage over blemishes or scars that are still showing through. So instead of adding like a full other layer of foundation, I'm just going to kind of spot conceal these. And then I'm just going to be blending that out with a Morphe sponge actually. I recently picked this up and I've been trying it out. So far so good, but I'm not sure if I like it more than my Aesthetica beauty sponges, but it is pretty good. I'm still trying it out. For under the eyes and down the center of the face, I'm going to go into my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. This is in the shade Fair Neutral. I've heard so much about this concealer for so long, and I'm really happy that I finally own it because it really is so good. And it's really good for just every day. It's not too like cakey looking, but it gives really great coverage at the same time. So I'm just doing nice little war paint. And then also down the center of the face. And then I'm going to take that same Morphe sponge and just blend that out. I just kind of start with the chin and then work my way up the face. And since we're focusing on the skin and the eyes with this look, make sure you're really taking the time to blend in your products. It will just help everything look so much more natural. It's actually kind of funny how much time it takes sometimes to create a really nice natural makeup look, especially with the skin. Like it takes a long time to blend out. So to set the under eyes, I'm gonna just go in with some Laura Mercier translucent powder. I always like to make sure that there's no creasing in the fine lines under the eyes before I set them. That way you don't lock in the creases. Let's finish up the lower lash line. I'm just going to be taking that brown shade, the second brown shade in the palette, and I'm just going to run this across the lower lash line, starting it kind of at the roots and then blending it down and connecting it to the shadows over here. I'm just gonna take the blending brush that we've been using before, and I'm actually dipping it into some of the Laura Mercier translucent powder and just really buffing that underneath the shadow to help further blend the bottom of it. Next, I'm going to be taking that same dark brown shadow on the little brush, and we're kind of going to mimic what we did on the top lash line and just really squiggle the shadow into the lashes on the bottom, and then flip over the brush, just kind of smoke that out. So I kind of move all over the place. I'm actually going to go back to the face before we finish up the eyes. I'm going to bronze and contour a little bit with the Benefit Hoola Quickie Contour Stick. I'm just going to melt some of that on the back of my hand first, and then just take a little brush and just start to kind of press it into the skin around the perimeters of the face and along the cheekbone. And then what's left, just run under the jawline. And then I'm just kind of pressing the product into the skin to further blend it out. Same thing on this side of the face. Just kind of pressing it and blending it into the foundation and into the hairline. And then I'm going to take this sponge that we were using before and put it on the back of my hand and kind of pick up the rest of that bronzer product and then just blend it into the skin further with the sponge. So to set the cream contour, I'm going to be using the Benefit Hoola Light Bronzer. This is so great if you have more fair skin because it just has the slightest amount of tan and it's not going to make you look orange. I'm just going to set and warm the skin even more by going directly on top of the cream color with this. I'm also going to use this Hoola Light to sculpt the nose, so I'm going to take it up into this area here, just lightly bring it down the sides of the nose and underneath to shorten. I also love to put it underneath the lip here. And then I always take some translucent powder and just kind of go over the entire nose so that it doesn't look too harsh. And now I'm just kind of pressing some more translucent powder onto other areas of the face just so that everything is nice and set. I'm taking some of the bronzer and working it into the crease a little bit as well. If you want your cheekbones to look even more snatched, you can take some translucent powder on your sponge and create a line from your ear to the corner of your mouth. You could let it bake there if you want to for a little while, but I'm just going to immediately dust it off, and it just kind of helps sharpen and sculpt that area. For blush, I wanted something kind of neutral, so I'm going to go into my Physicians Formula Butter Blush in the shade Plum Rose. It smells so good. And I'm just going to kind of press this onto the cheeks. It's such a pretty color. I love this blush. I love blush on the apples of the cheeks, so I like to take what's left and kind of pop it toward the front. I love that look. If you don't, you can keep it more towards this area, but I love a little bit on the apples of the cheeks. So for highlighter, these are probably actually what I'm going to be wearing on Thanksgiving. This palette, you guys, the highlighters in here are amazing. I won't use this palette forever on my channel because it is limited edition, but while it is still available, I thought I might as well use it because seriously, I would recommend it to you guys. It is that good. So I'm going to be I'm going to be mixing these two. Oh, you can't even see. I'm going to be mixing these two right here for kind of like a pinky, champagne-y type of highlight. Again, I just want the skin to kind of be the focus here, or one of the focuses, so I'm just going to start to layer that on the cheeks. Oh, it just makes the skin look so healthy, but it's not like a glittery highlight. It literally just gives your skin a sheen, and they're buildable. Like, I'm kind of adding a lot. You could tone it down if you really wanted to. Man, this is so gorgeous. I love to bring it toward the front of the cheeks as well, so when you smile, you kind of have a little sheen there too. I'm just going to take this littler brush and mix into both those highlights, and I'm going to highlight the center of the nose with this. I love to put a little bit extra highlight right in that area there. That was a little bit too much. I'll blend it out, but I really do like that. I'm just taking that brush that we had the translucent powder on. I'm dabbing that over the highlight because that was a little bit too much. Putting it on the cupid's bow, down the center of the lips, on the chin, and right above the brows right here. I will be hopping back into that for the inner corner and brow bone highlight. But first, let's set the face. I'm going to use the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray for this. Okay, let's put mascara on. I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Voluminous Million Lashes Mascara. This one's in the shade Carbon Black, and I'm just going to pop that on the top and bottom lashes. I do want my lashes to be kind of lashy today. I always get mascara on the eyelid, and don't let me forget to wipe it off when it dries, because sometimes I like wait for it to dry, and then I totally space it, and I go out in public or whatever with mascara on my eyelid. So I'm just going to go back into the Physicians Formula blush. And I'm just going to tap the lightest amount on the outside of the cheeks. I just want a tiny bit more color. So hopping back into that NARS Bronzing and Highlighting Palette, I'm going to take those same two shades that we were using, just on a smaller brush. And I'm going to pop that into the inner corner of the eye. And I like to kind of blend it up to these other shadows so that it looks like it's supposed to be there. I'm just going to take what's left on the brush and pop it right underneath the brow here to lift the brow a little bit. So this is where sometimes I go back to my brows and I kind of touch them up if they need to be, because my brows disappear quick, you guys. So for lips, I'm actually going to pull this out. It's been so long since I've used this. This is the KKW Beauty Cream Liquid Lipsticks, and I think I'm going to use the shade Kimberly. It's the most brown shade. When I was thinking of lip colors, I just wanted something that you could maybe touch up that would be really easy if you wanted to add more, but something that would like fade nicely while you're eating and stuffing your face. So I thought this would be a good one. So I'm just gonna apply this all over the lips. Also, another great option if you want a little bit more of a tint to your lips, but you don't want to worry about reapplying, the Glossier, what are these called? Generation G lipsticks are really great. Leo is a really pretty color for Thanksgiving. It's a little bit more of a brown, and then I also like Cake. It's a really pretty like nude color. Actually, I might add a tiny bit of this to the lips just to deepen it up a little bit. Yeah, I like that. To set the brows, I'm going to go with my Glossier Boy Brow. This one is in the shade Blonde. I also own Clear. I love this stuff. It's just going to make sure that my brows stay put all day, and it kind of gives them a little bit of texture too. So I'm just going to run this through the brows. So when I'm done with my makeup look, I always like to kind of look further back in the mirror and then touch up where needed. So I'm just adding a little bit more bronzer around the perimeters to warm up my skin even further. Guys, I almost forgot to brush away the mascara. Good thing I remembered. So there you have it. This is my casual yet glam Thanksgiving makeup tutorial. I hope you guys like how it turned out. I feel like it's so wearable, yet it still doesn't look like you tried too hard. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of vibe that I'm going for this Thanksgiving. I don't know about you guys, but that's what I'm going for. Thanks again for watching, you guys. Please let me know in the comments below what your favorite Thanksgiving dish is, okay? I'm obsessed with food, so I would love to know that. So let me know in the comments below what dish you're looking forward to most. I hope you guys know how grateful I am for you guys. Seriously, you are amazing, and your support and your love is amazing as well. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you guys do for me. I hope you guys have a fabulous Thanksgiving this year, and I will see you all in my next video. Love you. Bye!